our final visualization is going to be a line chart or fever chart. So we're back at our Flourish homepage here, and the process is very similar to what we've already done. So we're going to go to New Visualization, and apparently click that twice. And we're still going to stay with the basics up here, line, bar, and pie charts. So we're just going to go to the first line chart right here and click on that and wait for it to bring up our sample. All right, so here's our sample, and we can go ahead and look at our data. And once again, we have column A being our years, and columns B through E containing the data that we're going to be plotting for our line charts. So as you should be familiar with by now, our next step is to upload our own data, and we're going to go back to that same file, VIC 3002, sample Flourish data, and open that up. All right, and then we also get to choose from each of the pages on there. So we're going to go right to the end where we have RSW passengers edited. So we'll do that and hit continue. We need to import publicly because we're using the free version. And now we have 38 rows were imported. All right, so that sounds like a lot of rows. So let's take a look. So we'll select the column. So here we have our year column, and that's going to be for our label and or time axis. And then we have values over here for B and C. So we only have two. So we need to edit this one just to say B through C and hit return. And then we can see our mini preview down here. But let's go ahead and take a look at the big preview and see what that looks like. Okay, so we can see that this is pretty close to complete. We have one line representing March up here. That's the busiest month of the year at Southwest Florida International Airport, or RSW. And then we have September, which is historically the slowest month out of the year for us. So, and we can see that we've had a big sort of paring down here with COVID. Even though that 2020 isn't complete, it still is going to be a pretty bad year for air traffic. So when this is looking the way we want it to, or working the way we want it to, we can go ahead and, as usual, begin editing our header and footer. So let's just go down here and we'll add a title, and we'll say passenger traffic at RSW. All right, and then we'll skip over the subtitle and we'll add some text and say, again, nothing too creative. Here's a look at RSW's slowest and busiest months of the year. Going back to 1984, I believe. Is that? Yeah, 1984. So we'll hit return and see how that looks. Passenger traffic at RSW. Here's a look at RSW's slowest and busiest months of the year, going back to 1984. There we go. March and September. We have all of our information in there. So let's go ahead and edit in our footer. And we'll go down to note, and we'll say source is, let's see, this is actually the Lee County Port Authority. And for our secondary note, we're going to have graphic, our credit, graphic by Michael Donlan. All right. So there we go, and now we just need to edit the size of our footer to 0.75, and we're going to change the color again to that mid-value gray, and there we go. So this is looking pretty complete for our purposes, and So let's just go ahead and export and publish. And just with a few clicks, we get our div tag or embed code that we're going to copy and paste into our WordPress blog posts. So it really couldn't be more straightforward than that. I challenge you guys to play around with some of these settings and explore all of the options for your data visualizations. But for this assignment, we're just really focusing on the fundamentals. So hopefully these short tutorials were helpful, and I look forward to seeing your projects. Thanks again.